Welcome back to video. In today's video, we're going to be playing skylines, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a speed build on our city, and we're going to expand our industrial area, and then also build a big power plant, and then also make our cargo trains flow a bit better in terms of how fast, in terms of locking up our networks, because they are doing quite a bit of that. So I first start off by fixing a raw resource problem by placing in some warehouses and then setting them to the zone goods. And so those will hopefully be brought in by truck, and then if one of these industries need it, then well, they can then call from it. And then they also wanted some more services, so I placed down a police station, which I did just place down one for zone goods after I relocated this fire station to its new home, and then I reconnected the rails here, and then well, then we kind of just wandered around for a bit trying to find what resources were needed. And then I also just realized, well, in the speed build, that I needed a police station, so I placed that in, and then well, then I expanded on our offices. And then I did what I've been doing a whole lot recently with mixed zoning, although I didn't do it a whole lot here, but I do use it later in the episode when we work on the newer like neighborhood, I guess you would say. That's for our trains, and then or well, our train station, yeah. And then I just connected power to this, and that's why our canal can actually fully fill up. I don't know why it's taking so long to fill up compared to the past, but I ended up not being able to get power crossover on that side, so I do it on this side. And well, I'm able to get the power across, and then I just reflood this all.
Invincible.
And then because there was a huge problem with our trains getting stacked up along here, and they were backing all the way up to that new neighborhood that I was talking about earlier, and they were stopping people from crossing the tracks, I just decided to optimize it a bit more. So if trains were leaving, instead of them needing to transfer their goods onto a different train that's coming from out of the city, or just coming from one of our cargo train hubs, they could get their goods. They could leave through these tracks, which I do realize that that if a train's leaving to the right, then they can't exactly get back into our network. That's fine. They'll just be there, I guess, and break. It's fine. And then to start off with our power plant, I brought, put in a nice little toll road here as like the, security gate. So, cause obviously we don't want people that aren't workers coming in. And so, then I start off by building where our parking will be. So I was originally going to do a 6x2 tiles, but then I changed it to a 5x2. And then, well, then I just built this little triangle here, and this will be where our first nuclear power plant, or technically our first nuclear power plant, but this will be one big like campus of two nuclear power plants. So I then just put in some power, and then need to end up moving this over a bit, so then we can fit in that road, and then I placed down this technically second nuclear reactor, and I did try to use the concrete paths to make that look like entirely concrete, but didn't end up working. And then I honestly really do like the look of the oil power plant, so I placed that over there just in this so we could I like the look of it as like a generic industry, so I placed that over there, and then I ended up not getting oil, so then I just turned it off. And then nuclear reactors, if you don't know, require a lot of water, which I'll get into what I will do to represent that in a bit. But then I expand our parking lot, and then I put in our like main office, and I also placed in a couple smaller office zones later on. And then my solution for modeling all the water that needs to be stored there. Now, I kind of just wing this based on what I know about nuclear power plants. So this might not be 100% realistic, but it's fine. And so I just took the like emergency water thing, I think it's called, or the water tanks, and then I just placed them around. So these are normally just used for placing clean water in, and then storing it in case of the disaster, because it was introduced in the natural disaster DLC. But we're going to use it for decoration instead, which I did just remember that I never put a fence around here, so that'll be something that we will have to do for finishing touches probably in the next episode. We'll do finishing touches on both here and the airport in terms of like fencing and stuff like that. And then for one of the biggest things that I did in this episode in terms of actual size is that I placed in the beginnings of what would be our new power line network, which obviously realistically there's high voltage wires that carries power for a long distance from power plants to places that need it. So I'm just modeling that with these. So I do a parallel power line set of two high voltage power lines, just going along here and then just going down, and then I have them connected to different places like this airport here, or well, our cargo airport. I had it connected to there, and then brought them down along here, although this was a bit annoying to do just because of the new tracks. And then, well, and then I placed down some substations around in the places where the lines would come in, because that's how it needs to happen, because substations just convert high voltage power into lower voltage power, which is then used to power different things like homes. So then I do the same over here with using the earthquake sensors as to model a power station. And well, then I just continue network going throughout the city, and I just continue doing substations. And then for the power lines, I had one continue down to our, like, the first suburb that we made, and then also for the industrial area down there. And then I had the other half when they split off. I just did that little boxers in this way. The like symbol didn't show up for like it being not connected, because it's not connected to anything, because I'm going to use that as one that goes out to our suburbs. And then I placed that in our unique building, being the locomotive thing from the mass transit DLC, and so I just placed that in front of our glass box terminal. And then, well, then I came in here and I saw that people were having a bit of noise pollution problems. Then I also did just placing in childcare and elder care center. And then also a nice little hospital in here, just deal with any people who get sick. And then I just mix around the zoning in here bits, and this way I can get stuff and then make sure everything does have water and sewage. But that'll be it for this episode. I do hope you've enjoyed. If you have, make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next one. Bye!